Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've just started a brand new partnership with Tonic Blooms Toronto to help inspire me to create some beautiful floral paintings and tutorials for you guys. Tonic Blooms has an incredible selection of gorgeous flowers and they deliver all over the greater Toronto area. I think I've ordered from them 4 times now. I have a flower obsession, which makes for a great partnership. So if you're in the area, please make sure to check them out. But today we are going to be painting these stunning Delphiniums, which also happen to be my birth month flower. So let's jump right in. Okay, so to start, I'm just gonna go through my materials. I have my Arches cold pressed watercolor paper, my Winsor Newton professional watercolors in my palette, my Princeton snap brushes in a size 12 and a size 6 round, and water paper towel, and we're ready to go. Okay, so I just drew a quick outline of the vase. You can do it however you like. I think it'll just be easier to draw these in the vase just because I said so. So that's what we're gonna do. And we're doing some loose Delphiniums. The first thing I wanna do is create our color palette. So these flowers that I have are kind of like a nice periwinkle and like this blue with like some purple in it. So let's grab some cobalt blue, which I feel like is the closest to this blue. Just gonna throw a bunch here in my purple section, and it's okay if it mixes a bit with purple because it has a bit of purple in it, and that's good for the darker blue. And then I think for the light blue, just maybe a lighter, let's try our cerulean blue. Yeah, we'll just do a really light wash of this cerulean blue and then use a bit of mauve for the center of some of them. And then for the green, it's this very, very light kind of yellowish green, and I already kind of have that mix in here already, and I just used, I think it was lemon yellow and sap green, and I might add a bit more lemon yellow after too for some of the lighter parts. But that's basically it. That's all the colors you need for this. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the flowers. Let's start with the lightest flowers, which are those really light blue ones. So I'm gonna grab my cerulean blue and just water it down. And I'm going to do these, they're such pretty flowers. Okay, so these kind of like, it's almost like star shapes. And I'm gonna leave that center white, okay? And we're gonna go up this invisible stem to start, okay? And I'm doing it like super light. Okay, so we're starting down here. We're just doing it very nice and loose, okay? Not even real specific shapes, just kind of doing petal shapes around, trying to leave some sort of white center. And then as you get closer to the top, they're gonna be a little bit more sparse and a little bit smaller because the ones towards the top have not really bloomed yet. Okay, and leave some space in between the flowers like that. And I'm using enough water that they will bleed when I come back to drop in some more color. So I'm gonna take a little bit more cerulean blue. I hope I'm saying that right. And I'm just gonna tap, not too dark. Just tap lightly to some parts. Yeah, I don't want it too dark because these ones are really nice and light, like that. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my green mixture and, oops, not that one. That's all good. Lift it up a bit. A little bit of my green mixture, maybe a little bit more lemon yellow in there. Really light wash, just taking some off of my water jug. And I'm just going to do a couple, I'm just gonna tap some of these buds a little bit and then create more smaller buds at the top, like that, okay? Like so. I think I might do a couple more of these flowers over here, just make it a little bit thicker. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna take my small, nope, I'm gonna do a bit more, make it a little bit fuller at the bottom. Okay, now I'm gonna take my smaller brush and I'm gonna grab my green mixture, maybe a bit more sap green, And we're gonna do the stem coming down the middle. So not a lot of water and paint on your brush. You don't want it to like just take over those colors, but you're just going to gently touch the buds coming down the middle and some of the flowers. Going through that center. And then you're gonna go back and do little kind of stems connecting to some of those. You're gonna let them bleed into those little blue flowers a bit. Okay, like that. And then you can even take a little bit, just a little bit of, maybe a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green, and just do a couple little dots in the center of some of those flowers like that. I feel like, excuse me, this one got a bit too much green in there. I'm just gonna add a bit more blue, like so. And there you go. And then I might add a bit more sap green to that center stem, just a bit darker. I want a bit more contrast. And I want it to bleed into some of those buds a bit more, like that. I love when the green stem bleeds into the flowers. I love that look. Like that. Okay, cool. Now we are gonna do a darker blue one. So I'm gonna take my big brush again. I'm gonna grab this cobalt blue color. And again, we're gonna start off with a lighter wash. Always start off with a lighter wash. Just, you can always make something darker, but you can't necessarily make it lighter. So let's do same kind of thing. Okay, these like flower shapes with some sort of white part in the center, just really loose. Okay. Leave some white space in between some of the flowers. And make it light. You can change it up from light to dark, and we're gonna drop some mauve in there too, so just make some room for that. More over there. Now we're going to switch to that green. Make it a bit lighter. A bit more lemon yellow. Like that. Okay. Then I am going to, let's do the stem next. So I'm going to grab that green again. Again, touching those buds, coming right down the center. Touching the little blue flowers, branching off some little stems to them. Not everywhere, not too many stems, because some of those little white spaces are just the center of the flower. Okay, we'll go back and do it a bit darker again. But before that dries, I want to grab some mauve. Okay, and I'm just going to drop it in the center of some of these to get some purple going in there. And I'm just going to wipe it off my brush and just move that color around so they're not such harsh dots. Okay, some might already be dry. That's okay. You can just wet it up again. I'm going to grab a bit more cobalt blue. Maybe do some darker bits. You can even mix it with the mauve, especially towards the center stem. Or maybe some tips of it. But then I'm also going to grab some lemon yellow, just a bit, and do some dots where there would be the center of those flowers too. Okay, so pretty. I feel like I could go a bit more intense with that blue for some of them. think I'm gonna wet up these flowers again to drop in more color. Because these ones are a bit more vibrant than the light ones, obviously. Like that. And I might even grab just a tad bit of indigo, just darken it up just a bit. Like that. Again, just a bit more sap green. Just to darken parts of those stems. Most of those buds have already dried, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so we have one of each color, and now we're just gonna kind of alternate a bit. So let's grab our light cerulean blue again, water it down, and we'll just do some in the background here. Okay, we'll just really making this so loose. I think I might do green a bit closer here, not as much. Let's grab some of that cobalt blue. We'll do some right here. Oops. And I just keep washing my paintbrush just to take off some paint so it can get a lighter wash in there. Mauve. Like this. And then a bit of that lemon yellow color. Do some buds. Make it lighter. There's lots of buds towards the top. And just kind of stagger them. Yeah, let's do the stem now before it dries. Like that. Okay. We'll do some more little buds here. I think we're gonna do some more back here. It's just making it super light, because when you hit that stem with the darker green, it just really pops. I love the way it bleeds into the buds. That. I feel like we could have some more maybe back here. Maybe some back here. Just filling it in with a bit more color, making it really nice and luscious. Some more buds. Let's even have some coming maybe this way. Just the buds. And we can have a little bit of the light blue over here too. And I'm just kind of placing some more wherever I think it might look good. like so. And then, actually, we gotta fill in kind of down here where it'd be nice and full towards the bottom. And then you can do your vase. So it's totally up to you, whatever color you want to do. I think I might do like an indigo. Should I do indigo? No. I think I'm gonna do like maybe a Payne's gray then. Yeah, just really, really light wash. So the vase I have came with the flowers, so I might try and do something kind of like that. I'm just gonna run my brush kind of dry over. And then I'm gonna take some Payne's gray and I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Let's see if I tilt it. If I just run my dry brush like that. That. So after stepping back and looking at it, I feel like I made the vase a bit too dark. So I'm just gonna take some white gouache and I'm just gonna throw it on there and then I'm just gonna move it around and we're just gonna try and lighten the vase up. Like you don't have to do this part. You can leave it lighter if you want. You could do it a totally different color. It doesn't matter. But the vase that I got was quite textured and white. So I thought this would kind of emulate that in a way. So just experimenting with different kind of mediums and just having fun with it. So for a lot of this, I'm using a dry brush. I add a bit of water, but as you see, when I run it against the bottom a bit, I'm just trying to move that gouache down. I put quite a big lump. I probably could have put it in a palette first, but I was lazy. So I'm just trying to take some of the color from that clump and I'm just running it over the bottom. And then I really like the dry brush. So if you put your brush on an angle and just run it across, it will kind of give this like dry brush feel. So those little bits of the Payne's gray can peek through. And now I'm just going to take a little bit of Payne's gray and just do a little bit of shading towards the bottom and maybe a bit towards the sides. So not a lot, but just adding a bit of that darker color to get a bit more texture on the white gouache. Okay, so now I just took a little bit of Payne's gray and a bit of black, like a very light wash, and I'm just gonna do kind of like a shadow underneath, like it's sitting on top of a table. So like I said, very, very light wash, and just start with water, and then you can add some color in after, and I'm just trying to make straight lines going across like it's sitting on a table. And then again, kind of using that dry brush action, so it's not like just flat color all over. You get kind of these textured little areas of where the color and the water won't flow. And just moving it all around. And then when you're ready, you can start dropping a little bit of shadow. So maybe a little bit of black towards the sides and then underneath the vase. And there you go. There are your delphiniums in a vase. One other thing I like to mention to add a little bit of extra detail, I was playing around after, is adding a little bit of that blue to the really light green buds. It just adds this really beautiful gradient that is true to what the delphiniums actually look like. Just take a look at some of these buds and how beautiful that gradient from green to white to blue is. So the key is, before those buds dry, add that darker green stem. So those buds are a light mix of sap green and cadmium yellow with the cobalt blue on the tips, and then a nice dark sap green to kind of tie it all in together. And it just adds a little bit more detail to your delphiniums. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you guys liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram and Facebook for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.